Okay, folks, Accidental Ascension turn 20. Let's see how this, the whole Marverni situation came. We found a magic site in the Ripe Woods. Excellent. Dusk Spiral. Ooh. Nature and Death. Excellent. Battle in Baratos. Let's view that battle real quick before we get to ours. This is Atlantis storming the fort. I don't anticipate they're going to have... yeah. Poor Baratos. Alas for Baratos. Wow. That one deep one spearman is just charging. Well, he died eventually. Okay. Yeah. So this is the end of Baratos as a nation. And they did kill... I mean, they killed 15 of them. That's something. Those Baratian archers putting in a little bit of work. But, yeah, Baratos is destroyed. So, now for our battles in Dunheim. We attacked with our spread of troops. Don't imagine this went badly. Yep, they're mostly dead before they enter melee. Those archers are doing a little bit of damage, which is unfortunate, but they're gone. Okay, so we lost 2 axe warriors, cleared out Dunheim in Bithine, or Bithine, whatever. We've got our little pack of troops here. Where's... oh, shoot. Forgot to actually move him up close. Oh well. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think he's still in range for Strength of Giants. Hopefully. Yes, he's still in range for Strength of Giants. Excellent. Great. There we go. And... whack. Good show, folks. Lost 2. In Marverni, so this is him busting out. So let's see what he decided to bust out with. He busted out with everything. So he's got a whole bunch of Ambibate Noble Warriors with their magic wolf tattoos to give them extra attack skill. He's got a whole bunch of Boar Warriors with their magic boar tattoos to give them a lot of invulnerability. He's got a whole bunch of summoned ogres and a couple of summoned cave drakes. And he has 1, 2 druids, an elder druid, 3 druids, 4, 2 elder druids, 5. I'll count it all up in the... he's got a bunch of druids. He's got a lot of druids. And on my side, I have 1 warrior scout. So he casts Personal Luck, he summons Earth Power, he throws down his Divine Blessing. I don't think he's activating the tattoos. He's got the Blessing. Gives him all the elemental resists, defense skill, and strength. But yeah, I don't think he's, he may not have researched the spell that lets him activate the tattoos. So, what all did he have? Yeah, 233 units. Running from this was the right decision. I did not want to fight this army head-on. Even if I had won, it would have destroyed my army. So, Dubros. See how that went. Once again, don't anticipate trouble. The skeletons can handle this. There we go. Skeleton power. Skeletons forever. Skeletons win. Go, skeletons! Lost 2 skeletons. And Oak Beach. This is the other fort, where I sent most of my mages. And where they used up all their gems, because of course they did. But that's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. I think I just killed the lady with friendly fire. 3 casualties. Okay. Found some nature gems. Got some misfortune and magic. Lost my warrior scout in Kasevik Highlands. And that's fine. Okay, and the god of Arcos of Folly has been permanently vanquished. So, there's Therados. They've built a fort on land. Here's me. I've got my armies here. That's another Marverni Palisade. Here's my little army down here, and there's my army over here. So, Goar can't really help me. Teha needs to take all these troops and move out with them. Yeah, move up there. Ornulf will attack here. Is he scripted? He should be scripted to Earth Power, Strength of Giants, cast spells, but with conservative magic usage. These guys will be on Hold and Fire, closest. Mellow will move up there. So, now, This is a stealthy army, Kohen the Barbarian here. So he can sneak away. This is not stealthy. This is not stealthy, and this army is not stealthy. So, what I need is... First of all, I need all my skeletons and all my troops to go with Ascator. Yeah, we'll keep recruiting Axe Warriors. I've got 3 more death gems, but I think I'm just going to set these guys to research for now. So, Ascator. Okay, so now here's the question. The question is, we've got 220 enemy units here. My army is all split up and doesn't have a lot of gems at the moment. Got 40 units there, only 22 there, so that's about 60, 90, about 130. Plus I've got these units and these units coming up, so I've got troops advancing. It's just going to take them a while. You two need to start blood hunting. While I can't recruit anything because this province has no resources. Because it's recruiting commanders. Okay. So, what I need is, I need to be flooding my troops northwards. So that's Atlantis right there. These guys have been pushed to from Therados. That's fine. Ooh, Earthblood Seepage. I definitely need that. Teha, and take Audigar with you and give Audigar another, like, 12 Earth Gems. Yes, I'm bringing a ton of gems to this fight. Like, a lot of gems. I have Construction 2. Is there anything really cool you could do for me? With Construction 2, I could start forming warrior chieftains into mini-thugs. I don't have anything specific that I need them for, though. Basically, like, the mini-thug thing is useful for counter-thugging. Like, Great Swords of Sharpness. Great Swords of Sharpness are really freaking legit weapons. But you need you need them for countering specific enemies. Like, they do a ton of damage and they give you a high attack and defense bonus. So you use these to counter, like, giants. Like, if Hinnom was attacking me with Melkarts, I would use warrior chieftains with Great Swords of Sharpness to counteract them. Against the Marverni, I don't really need that. It's not important to have that power. So, I'm not too worried about it. Loot Vault is going to keep moving, searching for more death sites. So wait, where did I find that Ripe Woods? Oh, here. That's where I found that Dusk Spiral. And that allows recruitment of Black Witches, who are more Death Nature mages. Ooh, they're slow to recruit, though, so I need a fort. More Death Mages will be worth it, though. I've already got a temple here. I am going to build a lab. I'll start recruiting them, and then I'll also send somebody over to build a fort here. I'll recruit a warrior scout. Actually, I'll recruit a warrior. I don't have the gold for a warrior chief. I'll recruit a warrior scout. But yeah, Teha and Audigar will move up. Research-wise, I would like Earthmeld. And then eventually Bladewind and stuff. But yeah, I'm going down for Earthmeld after I hit Construction 4. Do I need Construction 4 right now? Construction 4 will give me Sanguine Dowsing Rods. I think it's more important to have Earthmeld active. So we'll go down Alteration first. Manvale here. What a name, Manvale. I thought I told you two to blood hunt. And then Manvale, I'll pick up Militia to slowly patrol with over time. I could spend nature gems summoning wolves for that purpose. But that would take people off research. And with 100 research points per turn, I'll hit Alteration level 2 in 2 turns, which is what I want. So these armies I'm going to have to kind of collapse in order to avoid losing them. Hollow can go up there. Runo can run all the way down to there, as can Kohen. And all these guys can go over there, and then Askator can also go there. So if we do that, then what do we end up with? We end up with 40, 80... We end up with like 140 units gathered up. I can strength them all, but I don't have gems. So the question is, what is he going to do with his armies? So now we're in kind of a mind game, because he has 230 units. He has 15 druids. I think this is too early for him to be set up to do a whole lot of communion shenanigans, but he's got earth magic. He's got quite a bit of earth magic. So he can drop the same kinds of earth buffs that I can, if he thinks of it. His troops are generally inferior to mine. They do have higher protection, but they don't have 2 attacks. So my troops can take his on probably 1-to-1 or a little better and come out on top. The odds are, the numbers are somewhat against me if I do this. Well, I can actually collapse everybody. Yeah, I can collapse literally everyone. So if I do that, then what do the numbers look like? That gives me an extra 22 skeletons. Let's put the skeletons on the flanks here. Let's actually combine all these skeletons into a group. So there's 20, there's 30. The skeletons are slow. So actually, well, Axe Warriors aren't fast. Steel Maidens are a little fast. Because here's what I'm thinking. I've done all of this, then if I collapse down back onto White Forest, then I have my army back together, and I've effectively just raided away a whole bunch of income and a whole bunch of gems from him. Because he doesn't get those. I've taken at least 1 turn of income and turned it into my income. I have more troops coming. I'll have another about 80-90 troops in 2 turns. Dagilo, let's move you up this way, start you site searching. Lutbalt is moving around to site search. Brutus is moving around as well. So I'm thinking, like, if his whole army comes down here, there'll be a great big fight, which I probably have decent odds of winning. I can improve my odds of winning slightly by bringing some of these guys in with gems. What can you cast that isn't frightened? Not much. You can animate, you can handcraft skeletons. You could cast raise skeletons, except I don't have any skull staffs. I need construction 4 for those. Because basically I have a couple of options here. I can either, if I want to, avoid combat, because he can only move to these adjacent provinces. I could have all of my troops out of adjacent provinces this turn. And then just attack again with even more troops next turn, and more gems, because I have that option. I have Teha moving up with his 66. I have Ernulf moving up with his 30, so I could collapse these 2 guys down to this province, and these 2 down to these provinces, and then readdress next turn. That would be the safe option. That gives me, I think if I do that, I end up outnumbering him. And then I can cast Reanimation 1 more time and have Askator patrol with his troops. That will give Askator north of 50 troops. So it'll be like 50, 130, 160, plus these units. That will give me a significantly superior army. It'll give him 1 more turn to recruit. but I probably couldn't lock him down again anyway, because he's going to be moving out with it. He's either going to be moving out with that army, or he'll be patrolling with it to keep Marverny safe. Or what I can do with Kohen is I can sneak Kohen right here, because he doesn't need gems. The value of moving people back here is to pick up gems. And these guys can go here where they'll pick up gems from Ernolf. And then Hollow can move right there. Or Hollow can just take this province with his 22 skeletons. Which I think he can probably manage. Okay, so let's do that. We'll take that province to ensure that it doesn't provide any income. Runo could go and take this province and shut down that palisade. But I don't think it's producing all that much anyway. Baratos does have another fort over here, and in fact it's even an upgraded fort, so they're technically still alive. Having lost their capital, though, that's oof. Oh, he's gone AI. Oh, well, never mind. He's dead. He went AI. Yeah, because he can't recruit Stormcallers, because he has no overwater coastal forts. He can't recruit Brides in Waiting, because they're cap only, so he's limited to Baratian priests, sages, and mage pilots, and none of them are actually good mages. Priests are, yeah, they're just not great mages. Sages are good researchers, but that's about it. So yeah, Baratos is gone. Baratos is AI. That's fine. That does mean that I should probably go and attack. Go and snaffle a province or two from them. But it only gives me 65 gold. What a puzzler. Because this province will have some province defense in it. I mean, I could just freaking attack his province with like 4 warrior scouts. They're infantry, basically. They're just really expensive infantry. Geberic has 20 leadership, so I could just take Baguloth there. I don't know if Hinnom is going to move in to take it, though, and I don't want to clash with Hinnom and lose a mage. That would be bad. So let's just focus on Marverny right now. Yeah, I think Hollow goes up here to take Behemoth's Rest. Everybody else collapses downward. I don't know what you think you're doing. Oh, that's Hildebad. Oh, yeah, that's fine. And... okay. This is the... I just turned on the map move counter, by the way, which tells you how many points of map move it would take to get somewhere for a given unit that you've selected. So, like, you can see how these guys have snow move, so it takes them fewer points to move across snow than it takes her. Slightly. I'm gonna turn it off because it's just distracting at this point. I don't really need it. Yeah. I should take Star Peaks at some... I own Star Peaks. What am I saying? I think this is the plan. I think we're gonna fall back, reorganize our forces just a little bit, and then recommit. And basically that will mean that I've done this whole thing for almost no losses and just kind of stolen a turn's worth of income. And the Marverny can't really do much about it. So like either at this point, the Marverny can split their forces to go and try and take back all of these provinces, which is fine. And if they do that, if they were to do that, then my move would be to... if I knew they were going to do that, my move would be to concentrate all my troops in White Forest. But if I... see, if I concentrate all my troops in White Forest and then their whole army moves to White Forest, counterattacks me, then I might lose my whole army. Screw it, I'm gonna do it. YOLO. We are going to put everyone, absolutely everyone, and their dog in White Forest. Ascator, you can take all the rest of my Earth Gems. In fact, we'll take some of these Earth Gems away from Audigar so that you can have them, so that you can share them out. And in White Forest, we are going to line up our troops. It's predictable what we're doing. I mean, our deployment is predictable. Because there's only so much we can do, really. The skeletons... The skeletons should be at the center because they're slow. And then we'll have the ladies at the sides. And the warriors at the sides. There we go. And then all our mages will be just kind of spread across the line. They're already properly scripted. They're going to cast Strength of Giants on everyone. We're going to Strength of Giants twice because we can't summon Earth Elementals anyway. We'll just remove that. And then, yeah, we will do what we can do. So, boop, boop, boop. Come here, you. Boop. And you are going to stay behind troops. So we'll have our Mound Kings kind of right like there-ish. And what'll happen is our two armies will buff and then they will slam into each other. And basically the best troops will win, which I think will be mine, because mine have this ranged attack that's very, very dangerous, the Axe Warriors, and my troops have the double attacks in combat. Now, I do have a lot of afflictions, like, who's afflicted here? Like, half my troops are afflicted. But, even so, I think the inherent advantages of Ulmish troops can carry the day here. So, if the entire Marverni army attacks me here, it'll be their... How many was it again? They have 233 units, of which a large number are bare-chested, a large number are nobles, and not the majority, but a large fraction are boar warriors. See, I don't think they have never activated their tattoos yet. If they activate their tattoos, the calculus changes. Like, I'll be straight up about that. If they activate their tattoos, the calculus changes because activating their tattoos gives them all 10 invulnerability, which kicks their protection up by like 7 points or so, 6 or 7 points. And so it makes them very, very hard to hurt. And then it also gives them other minor to moderate buffs. But honestly, with Strength of Giants active, even then, like, Axe Warriors are still hitting for 24 damage. They will still cut through high protection, invulnerable Marverni troops just a little more slowly. If they activate their tattoos, I probably lose. Because they have 233 units. I've counted mine up already. It's not that many. It's like 100 and... I'm outnumbered by like 30% or so. That's about 70... Close to 100... 180. So yeah, I'm outnumbered by like 50 or 60 units. But... I don't know, man. Marverni bare-chested warriors are basically going to be meat. I mean, they'll be able to throw their javelins. That will help. Carnute bare-chested warriors, similarly. Like, even if they do activate the tattoos, the bare-chested warriors are still strictly worse than my units. The boar warriors and the ambibate nobles are really the only ones that I would worry about, and even then, they have half my attack density. So, like, they have more units. In terms of attacks per round, I have significantly more. And I don't know how much research they have, but like I said, they haven't activated their tattoos yet. That's enchantment 3, I believe, for the Marverni. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take the gamble. If I lose here and die, then, you know, these things happen. I'll have more troops coming up. I will at least be able to hold them and continue to raid. And I think I'll be able to recruit back up more quickly than they can because I'll have more resources. If they move their whole army down here to take this province, then that means they're not taking these provinces back. Well, they'll probably take this province back. I'm going to have this guy maintain the siege just for fun. And, of course, they also have death scales. That's unfortunate for them. They do have luck 3, magic 3, which is kind of cool, but anyway. I think this will work. It is, like I said, it's a gamble, but I would really like to keep White Forest. White Forest is a really good province. It gives me many, many Earth Gems. It gives me 3 Earth Gems, Nature, and Astral. So I would like this. I would like to keep this province. And it also gives me an Air Gem, which is kind of cool. And I'm willing to fight for it, and I think I can fight for it effectively. What I will do, what's the other thing that I could do to improve my chances further? The other thing I could do to improve my chances further would be to distribute these Earth Gems among my Earth 1s and have them summon lesser Earth Elementals. Because I could turn these 8 gems into at least 4 or 5 lesser Earth Elementals, which would help a little bit. Yeah. It's going to cut down my research a lot, but I am going to give all these guys 3 gems each. They will all come with. And then they're all just moving, right? Yes, okay. So, not Desiccation. You are going to cast Lesser Earth Elemental twice. And then you can cast Desiccation all you want. You, similarly, Lesser Earth Elemental twice, and then Frighten 3 times. You are already... okay, you're doing that, so we're going to copy that and give that order to Stalo as well. You are going to cast Lesser Earth Elemental twice, and then... do I have any water gems? I don't think I have any water gems whatsoever. Do I? I have a water gem. I will also give Jordanes a water gem. No, not Jordanes. Not you. Give that water gem back. Give it to Nemesius D. So Nemesius D will summon lesser earth elementals, and then he'll summon a lesser water elemental, and then he'll cast spells. Okay, and then all these guys are going to actually be like right up front. Because there's not any risk of missile weapons in this battle, and the earth elementals are slow, so I want them to be moving out ahead of the infantry. Because they're like combat speed 7 or something. Yeah, so we'll do that. And then they'll all just cast spells, and the infantry will basically swarm past them. And it should be fine. We'll take this province this turn. We will hold White Forest, and then we'll have more troops coming up to besiege Oak Beach. We'll try to... so if we have this climactic battle, hopefully we will destroy his army. Even if not, we should deal a lot of damage. And then this army coming up here, and this army coming up to the Cursed Land, should be able to roll in, and if necessary, retake White Forest, and put at least one of these forts back under siege. So, here's hoping. That's turn 20. I'll see you all in turn 21. Okay, it's turn 21, and some interesting things have happened. First of all, Marverni did what I thought they would do. They split up. So, a big army went to Dunheim, which is this province here. This is a fairly significant fraction of their forces, including about half of their Boar warriors and about half of their Carnute bare-chested warriors, plus 2 druids and an Elder Druid. And just to double check, were they geared with anything? So this Elder Druid, yes. He had a Silver Hauberk, which gives him Air Shield, and also a bunch of Air Gems. They all had several Air Gems. So these are all Earth 2 guys. And I'll tell you why they had those Earth Gems in just a moment. Did I say Air Gems? I meant Earth Gems. In Oak Beach, a little army hit Oak Beach as well, killed a warrior scout that was holding them down. Once again, 3 Earth Gems. So he's deploying a lot of Earth Gems just like I am. Dubros, same deal. Elder Druid, this time he has all his ogres are in this province. If I'd left the troops in this province, if I'd had actual troops in this province, they might have been able to kill all these ogres, because ogres do badly against Ulmish infantry. But once again, Elder Druid this time with Earth Gems. And Timiglia, I attacked Timiglia, took out the province defense, took it over. Bithine, just a commander and 4 Marverni noble warriors, so they were just bouncing troops off Bithine. They didn't even care. But the big battle happened in White Forest. In White Forest, my whole army met 1 druid and 1, his prophet actually, 1 Carnute Marverni chieftain with who's been prophetized, leading a gang of mainly boar warriors. And remember, this guy has 3 earth gems. He also has a chest wound. So, the 2 armies met here, and some of my troops just were off to the races immediately due to misscripting, but I managed to get Strength of Giants off on everybody anyway, pretty much everybody. And they all charged in, and my skeletons were hit by full-size Earth Elementals. That is what he has those Earth Gems for. He's got Conjuration 5, and he's summoning full-size Earth Elementals. So what happened was, my skeletons basically charged in first, along with this militia from the province defense. They ran into the Earth Elementals. The Earth Elementals got a few kills by trampling the skeletons. They then ran headlong into the Boar Warriors while also being hit with axes from behind. As a result, the skeletons pretty much got massacred. However, my troops then swept in onto the Boar Warriors and pretty much conclusively proved what I had already thought. Ulmish troops massacre Marverni troops. The Boar Warriors got eaten alive. A couple of banishments also hit those skeletons from Kavivolkus the Prophet. If we look at the unit overview real quick, you can see I lost a few Axe Warriors. The Boar Warriors got massacred in jig time. Cut off an arm there, hit in the leg, hit with a great sword from a long dead, all that stuff. So they went down super, super quick. I summoned a bunch of smaller Earth Elementals, but then my long dead got destroyed, mainly partially because of Catavolcus here. You can see Catavolcus, he did a bunch of damage. He wiped out a couple of long dead with each casting. He was casting Ashes to Ashes, which is his banishment spell, and he wiped out several of them. Like, that's a dead long dead, that's a death. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He killed 6 with those 2 castings of Ashes to Ashes. And the rest were killed by the Earth Elementals and the Boar Warriors. The Boar Warriors did get some kills, but if you see here, a lot of the Boar Warriors just died. I mean, this Boar Warrior killed a Steel Maiden. That one looks like he killed a Long Dead. That one probably killed a Long Dead and then was killed, but as soon as my infantry swept in, the Boar Warriors were just massacred. And part of that is because they were outnumbered, of course, but part of it is because they just can't stand up to that kind of attack density. So, in terms of casualties, I took the worst of it numerically because I lost 4/5 of my long deads to the trampling of the Earth Elementals and then to the charge of the Boar Warriors. You can see the Boar Warriors scored a significant number of kills against the long dead. They did quite a bit of damage. But against the actual Ulmish infantry, they traded very badly. They did okay against Steel Maidens, because Steel Maidens don't hit hard enough to kill them all the time, since Boar Warriors have fairly high hit points and decent protection. The Axe Warriors fucking slaughtered them. Axe Warriors just tore them apart with the buffs they had. So, here's the plan then. This province I want to hold, and I also want to bring troops up, because I have another 100 troops coming up. That will give me, in terms of siege strength, over 250 siege strength, which will now enable me to bust down either of these forts in 2 turns. That said, I also want to besiege one of these forts, so... Ernulf is going to come up here to join the party. What I want is, probably Reketak here to lead his troops, or maybe Runo. Let's take Runo. No, Amabate Noble Warriors. Let's take Reketak. So Reketak is going to lead his troops to besiege Oak Beach. And they're just going to be right there, and he's going to be right behind them, and he's going to cast Strength of Giants on them. And, yep, that'll be it. And he will Strength the Giants them up, and then they will charge in and do damage. Over here, we're going to have our major army. We do have some skeletons right in the middle there, and then we've got a pretty significant line of Ulmish warriors. And we've got mages scattered all along the line. We've got these guys throwing down lesser earth elementals up front. We've got a little pack of archers there. We've got Tea, we've got Ernulf up there. Ernulf, yeah, they're scripted for Strength of Giants and then Conservative Magic Gem usage. Ernulf is also scripted the same way, so they're just going to spam Strength of Giants on everybody, just like I've been doing. That'll give me... That'll push me back up to significantly outnumbering the Marverni. The Marverni, it looks like here, are recruiting Great Boars, and they've summoned... I think these are summons. The Great Boars of the Carnutes. I believe those are nature summons that are specific to the Marverni. So, we're going to hold our position here. We're bringing in another 100 units to replace our losses. And next turn, we will go and besiege Marverni again. And we will, I think... In his position, I would either, depending on how ambitious he feels, it's either attack me immediately or gather troops back at Marverni. I think he's probably going to gather troops back at Marverni, because if he attacks me, he can only attack me with these 3 groups. And that's not enough. Considering the troops that I'm bringing in, that is not enough units to take me. Especially considering that my troops hurt more than his do. So given that, because Dunheim had 87 units. What's that? Oak Beach had 56 units, so about 130. And then he's got another, yeah, like another 20 to 30, maybe possibly 40 in here. He's not going to outnumber me by enough to make a difference. Now, he's murdered most of my skeletons because he has lots of powerful priests and he has summoned earth elementals and all that stuff, but once his earth elementals contacted my actual infantry, they got chopped down really, really quick by those double attacks, because earth elementals have bad defense. And they got cut down to size 1 or 2 in like the first round, at which point they couldn't trample anymore. So, my infantry are going to win if he charges in to attack me, and then that will give me the power that I need to, the relative power disparity to besiege Marverni. In fact, I think I have that relative power disparity now no matter what he does. I think I've won this war, essentially. Could be wrong. Been wrong about these kinds of things before, but that's what I think. Research-wise, my research is still kind of in the trash can because I'm moving so many mages around and doing so much fighting, but it'll be worth it in the end when I take these 3 forts. Might not be able to take that one, depending. Calum is down here, and I don't know what they plan to do. I should probably start talking to them, since we are neighbors now. Also, Therados is once again starting to push their dominion in on me, so Saran Forest and Troya are under the enemy's dominion, which is bad. I need that not to be. So Goar here is actually going to move down this way to build a temple in Troya, because Troya makes a significant amount of money, and I do not want that income being destroyed by Therados' dominion. I've already got a lot of temples, and it is not sufficient. I need more. I probably need 10 temples. But in any case, so the war with Marverni is continuing. Down here, just kind of moving around scouts, researching, not recruiting any units at the moment because I'm saving up money for that temple. Still pumping out units in Ulm, and as many units as I can in the Cursed Land, which isn't many, unfortunately. I can't recruit the Amazons here, I just can't. I would only be getting 2 of them per turn, and it's just not worth it. 2 Amazons versus 6 Axe Warriors. I'll take the 6 Axe Warriors all day, every day. I would like to be recruiting Steel Maidens, but Axe Warriors will have to do because they have lower recruitment point costs. But that's going to be about it for this turn, to be honest. I am building up a lot of nature gems. Like a lot of nature gems. When Irminsul wakes up, may be able to do something with them, but to be honest, research-wise, I'm heading for Alteration level 4 because I'll be able to cast Swarm. And then level 5 will give me Wooden Warriors, so those will be things for my nature mages to do. In terms of mage recruitment, I'm still recruiting warrior smiths because I just need more mages, just more of them. Sometime pretty soon, possibly after I've taken 1 or 2 of these forts, I will shift over to recruiting antlered shamans, which will give me guaranteed nature 2, and I'll be able to use that to make sure that I can cast wooden warriors on my troops, which will make them a lot more durable. It'll kick their protection up to almost 20, and that's a very, very valuable buff for Ulm. But that will be in future episodes. This turn is, I think that's about all I'm doing this turn. Random event hit Bogoloth here, it looks like, with barbarians, so it is owned by the barbarians now. A little bit unfortunate, because barbarians are kind of tough for me to deal with. Hinnom. Hinnom sure has armies, huh? They have got all kinds of armies. Armies for days. AI Baratos is beleaguered and under siege. Arco, you can see, is defeated last turn. Wizard Master General is AI. This worries me a little bit. Atlantis, early age Atlantis is probably the best of the underwater nations, period. Because they have these tough troops that can function above ground, especially given that in the early era nobody has crossbows. And they also have some really powerful mages. I don't know if I've talked about them in detail, I don't recall. But basically, you've got the Mages of the Deep, which are pretty good. They're 4-path mages. They're a little bit expensive, but they're not too expensive for 4-path mages. They're not efficient researchers, but they are relatively fast researchers. And they get a lot of decent elemental paths. If they random fire, which a significant fraction of them do, they can cast acid spells, and they can summon green lions. If they random earth or astral, they get a lot of utility that way, so there's a lot of useful things for Mages of the Deep to do. Basalt Kings are arguably one of the strongest super combatant chassis in the game. For one thing, they have acid paths and earth magic natively. Then they have another random, so they can be Water 3 or Earth 4. One of the very, very few Earth 4 native mages in the game, which enables them to do a lot of stuff just right out of the bag. They have a resource bonus, which is immaterial because you do not have these guys sitting around doing nothing or researching. They're too expensive. You send them out to kill people, and they do it very, very well. They have high hit points, good, decent, natural protection and magic resistance, decent stats across the board. Defense a little bit low, but when you're this tough, it doesn't really matter. They can forge gear for themselves. They can cast all the most important buff spells. They don't have access to air, which is a little bit of a bummer, but frankly, these guys can do the Temperflesh Phoenix Pyre trick, so they can reinvigorate themselves and then go into melee with Phoenix Pyre active to make themselves nearly immortal. They can do all sorts of things. They are a real problem in the mid and late game. And then they also have Basalt Queens, and Basalt Queens are pretty decent, and more importantly, they are recruitable Holy 3. So, yeah, Atlantis is kind of worrying. Warriors of the Deep are pretty solid units. They're high recruitment point cost, but clearly he's already been able to mass them, and they have high damage magical weapons, plus elemental resistances and dark vision. Now, fortunately, Atlantis doesn't have any death magic, so they can't really take advantage of that. But, yeah, it's a little scary. Atlantis is pretty good. Now, living pillars are too expensive for what they are, but they're also extremely tough and have high hit points. So if he somehow ended up with a good bless, living pillars might be useful. Mainly, I expect to see Warriors of the Deep. Warriors of the Deep, basically. Maybe occasionally some Coral Guard, but mainly Warriors of the Deep. Warriors of the Deep are, of course, also very good siegers, so they can crack early age forts very, very easily, as we saw down here, where Baratos' castle went down in just a few turns. So, yeah, that's a little bit worrying. Therados I'm not so worried about. I think Therados is not going to be able to accomplish a whole lot. If nothing else, they're going to kill their own population and run out of money pretty quickly, but that said, I did see they had a fort, like here, I think it was, which I'm not a huge fan of. We'll have to see how that goes. But for now, I'm peaceful with them. I just want to keep their garbage dominion out of my land. I do want to take all these guys, give them to Theodoric. We'll give Theodoric some more gems. And we will send him north. He can get there in one turn. And from there, he can choose to decide who to... yeah, he can choose to decide. You can tell how good I am at English. He can choose who to reinforce, whether he wants to go through White Forest to help Marverni or reinforce the siege of Oak Beach. Probably Oak Beach. But overall, I think I'm in a pretty good position against the Marverni. They can, of course, spam full-size Earth Elementals, but frankly, full-size Earth Elementals are not a good answer to Ulm. I mean, they do damage, they'll inflict kills, but they also just get chopped down super, super quick by that those high damage hits that I have access to, so not too worried about it. While I'm standing here, I am going to have Landoberg search for magic sites, and because he's a death mage, and then all you guys can preach. Since you're just standing around, you might as well. You all can preach, and you, Runo, can... Are you moving anywhere? No. Okay. You can patrol. Alright, so that's going to be the turn, everybody. I will see you all in turn 22.